I'm sharing Spellbinders Club Kits for January 2025. I will be using the Glimmer Hot Foil, the large die of the month, and the 3D embossing folder. Hey everyone, it's Joy here and welcome to my channel. So I have done all of the die cutting from the large die of the month. So all of these florals are from that. I'm going to use florals on all three of my cards that I have made using the club kits. I have die cut from scrapbook.com's floral and vacation patterned paper. I also use the holographic paper for the large die of the month and white mixed media cardstock. I'm also going to be using Minte's Basic Book 2. It looks like it's a bunch of bokeh. I'm going to be using that for one of my backgrounds. So I'm just going to show you really quick gluing together some of these flowers, how these flowers go, and then I will glue the rest of them off camera because there is a lot of flowers. I think I had a little bit left, but I just did a lot of die cutting. Super simple to put these together. I did some oranges, pinks, and yellows, two different colors of green, kind of not a just regular white. It's not gray, it's almost like a tan creamy white for the centers of the flowers. So I just did all of that die cutting. I knew I wanted to add flowers to all of my cards for the club kits. And yeah, so I'm excited because as the new year starts, I got to choose which club kits I'm working with because I am an influencer for Spellbinders. And so I decided to put back into what I've done, the large die of the month. I didn't do that for at least a year, maybe a little bit longer. So I was glad to have that back, and I'm happy to be doing that again. So we've got big flowers, little flowers. We've got ones that have some stems. There's of course different kinds of leaves. I think there was three or four different kinds of leaves that I die cut, but we'll be using all of those. I did die cut that. The greens are from the Floral patterned paper, not patterned paper, just colored cardstock. And I believe the rest of the colors were from the vacation colored cardstock. So I'm going to get those guys glued together. I do have multiples of this little one that I'm working on here, lots of little flowers and big flowers. And I just put together ones that have a bunch of little flowers and then some bigger ones. And so that's how all the die cuts went. Here is that beautiful bokeh background patterned paper. I'm going to die cut the large, it looks like a bird cage, but it's not. I can't remember what it's called. But I die cut the background from that paper. And then the front piece I'm going to die cut from a gold mirror cardstock. Now, you can put the flowers inside of this and then put the top piece onto the back piece. I am not doing it that way. I did also die cut a piece of white cardstock that I'm going to adhere to the back of that gold mirror cardstock because the gold mirror cardstock is thinner and it feels it needs a little bit of strength behind it. So I am going to glue that to some ultra thick white cardstock. I did scrapbook.com's mixed media white cardstock and it's very thick and I love it. So this is going to give it some substance to it. So again, before you glue that to the background, you could put your florals inside. I opted to not do that. I'm going to put my florals on the outside. This would also be pretty if you put some vellum behind it, if you put some acetate behind it. You could kind of make a shaker if you cut multiple pieces of those and layered them. You could do it that way and give it some dimension. But this is just going to adhere to that background. I think it looks so, so pretty. Then from another piece of that bokeh paper, I am using the 3D embossing folder. I'm just kind of getting all my backgrounds done at one time, and then we can start putting things together. So, and I will trim that down to slightly smaller than an A2 size. Then for the Glimmer Hot Foil, I am using Aura Foil. I am going to put this will be a full A2 size card panel. I am using the mixed media cardstock to foil on. And then I'm also going to foil the sentiments. I just needed 3. I used the hello, thanks, and congrats. And I really like the font of it. So I will trim that down too to an A2 size. And then here are those sentiments. And I trimmed those out with a paper trimmer. I just didn't show it on camera. Now I have a piece of teal cardstock from the Vacation patterned paper, or excuse me, not pattern paper. I don't know why I keep saying that. Colored paper pack. And I'm going to start laying out my florals. I really want to add a lot of flowers to this. There is also little butterfly dies that came with the large die of the month. I die cut those from that teal cardstock, and I'm going to put those on all of the cards as well. So we're just going to create beautiful floral cards with different backgrounds. So this has the large die, then we're going to have the embossed background, and then we're going to have the glimmer hot foil background. So I adhered that flower to one of the stems, and I'm just going to start tucking everything in. Some flowers have foam adhesive, some do not. I am using, it looks like I used 2mm foam adhesive, and then I'm just kind of tucking things in and around and checking out what and where and the colors of the flowers and how I want that to look. Some of the stems I did have to trim down because it was a little bit long. I opted to put an orange flower there, which I think looks great, and I tuck it in behind those leaves. But I think this turned out really pretty. This is just a fun way to make cards. I love the die of the month. I know they have the large and the small, and I used to do both of them. It was fun to do a different, kind of change up what club kits I used, but I am really glad to have the large die of the month back because I love it. I think it's a really fantastic club kit. I'm going to add some foam adhesive behind this piece and pop it up off the background. And then I have that sentiment that says thanks. And all of these cards will be adhered to an A2 size card base, which measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Let's add the butterflies. I wanted to call them blueberries, and I'm not sure why. Butterflies. I'm going to add 3 to this. Let me bring in one more. And then we can go on to the next card. So the next one that I'm going to be doing has the embossed background. And I did not spritz my paper, so it did crack a little bit. It doesn't look horrible. I don't mind it. But I did not spritz my paper, and I should have because it is thinner paper, and I think that tends to crack easier when you run it through a 3D embossing folder. So some foam adhesive, some liquid glue. We're just going to have this nice little cluster of flowers right in the center. And then I'm going to use the hello sentiment with foam adhesive behind that. I think that is perfect. Now I'm going to add a butterfly to this one as well. Just one. I wanted this one to be on the simpler side. I really liked that 3D embossing folder and wanted to show that off. And then our final card has our Glimmer hot foil on the background, and I think it's really pretty. I just did it on regular white cardstock. You could do it on a colored cardstock, and that would be beautiful too. But I really liked these flowers kind of being bright, and I didn't want to put a dark background against this. So again, liquid glue and foam adhesive, super easy to put these guys together. I think this is a fun way to kind of make all of your cards match but they all have really different elements to it. So I think that's kind of fun. But what they have in common is the colors or the die cuts or a background. So I think that's kind of fun. And I do like to do that with the club kits. Let me get that sentiment in there. And then I pop a couple more flowers in. I forgot about those guys, and I do want to have those in there. And I think they finished this off really, really nicely. And then we can take a look at these up close and see how everything looks on these cards. Oh, I got to add butterflies. So I do add 2 butterflies to this one. I probably should have added a third, but I think 2 was plenty. And I do like that little pop of teal on all the cards, and the one card has the teal background. So I do like that. That's kind of another thing that they all have in common. Let's take a look at this. This is the large die of the month. I love it. I think that turned out great. We've got that glimmer hot foil, so we've got the pretty foiled background. So, so pretty. And then the 3D embossing folder of the month. Look at that fun embossed image. Thanks guys so much for stopping by and watching. I hope you feel inspired by these projects. I hope that you enjoy this video. If you do, please subscribe, thumbs up, share. I would appreciate all of that. Hope you have a great day.